Okay, picture this. The year is 1453. One of the greatest cities on earth, a city that's been a symbol of Christendom for, 1,000 years, is just fallen. Constantinople, the absolute jewel of the Byzantine Empire, is now in the hands of a sultan who's only 21 years old. But here's the thing. This isn't the end of a story. No, this is the beginning of something truly incredible.
And those words you see on the screen, they come from the conqueror himself, Sultan Mehmed II, supposedly said as he stood right there on the city's ancient walls. You see, his vision was crystal clear right from the get-go. This wasn't just about smashing something old. It was about building something new. He wasn't looking for a trophy to put on a shelf. He was looking to forge the very heart of a new global superpower.
So that brings us to the big question, right? What was their secret? What was the formula? How on earth did the Ottomans take this one conquered city and turn it into the engine of an empire that would, literally, dominate the world stage for centuries to come? Well, today we're going to break down that exact blueprint, the recipe for building a golden age.
All right, first things first. You gotta have a solid foundation. Mehmet was smart. He knew you can't run a world-class empire from a battlefield tent. Nope. He needed a real capital, a central hub. And so he got right to work, transforming Constantinople into the administrative, military, and economic core of his entire realm.
So how did he do it? First up, he tackled the administration. How do you govern this huge, sprawling territory? Well, he broke it down into manageable chunks, these provinces called sanjaks. Each one had a governor who reported directly back to him, to the Sultan's court, no middlemen. And at the very center of it all, he created the divan. You can think of it as the empire's central nervous system, its brain. This council handled everything, and everything from money to military strategy.
Okay, next on the checklist, the military. This was a game changer. See, Mehmed stopped relying on the old feudal system, where you'd call up lords and they'd bring their own guys. No, he created a salaried, professional, full-time army. This included bulking up the legendary Janissary Corps. Now, this is the key takeaways here. This army was loyal to the state and the Sultan, not to some local big shot. And to really project that power, he built a huge fleet. He knew that to be a true empire, you've got to own the seas.
But of course, a professional army and a new capital, that all costs a ton of money, right? So how do you pay for it? Well, Mehmet built a self-sustaining economic engine. He totally overhauled the tax system to make it fairer and more efficient. He secured the lifeblood of the economy, the trade routes, with a network of fortified inns, these caravanserais. And he poured state money into local crafts and manufacturing, basically turning the empire into a buzzing hive of production.
And the result of all this work? The city, which we now know as Istanbul, was completely reborn. Mehmet brought in people from all corners of his empire: Greeks, Armenians, Jews, Turks, you name it. It became this incredibly vibrant, cosmopolitan hub, a true melting pot where trade, new ideas, and culture just exploded. The foundation? It was officially set. So, with that solid foundation in place, the empire was primed for its next great builder, Sultan Suleiman I. Now, in the West, we know him as Suleiman the Magnificent. But to his own people, he had a different name, the Lawgiver. And that tells you everything you need to know because he understood a fundamental truth. Raw power is useless without order. It's just chaos. And Suleiman's masterpiece? It was the Kanun Nam. This was a single massive code of secular law. Now, it wasn't designed to replace religious law, not at all. Instead, it was meant to work alongside it, creating this really sophisticated two-track system that was perfect for governing a huge, diverse empire with tons of different religions and ethnicities. And the absolute genius of this was the balance. Think of it like a set of scales. On one side, you had Sharia law. This covered all the personal and religious stuff for Muslims, and it was interpreted by religious scholars. But on the other side, you had the Kanun name. This was state law, straight from the Sultan, and it applied to everybody. It covered all the practical, day-to-day stuff of running an empire: taxes, land, administration. This gave them the perfect mix of religious authority and practical, flexible governance.
One historian put it perfectly. He said that this was Suleiman's unique gift. No other ruler of his time was able to combine the raw power of the military, the sword, with the structured order of the law so beautifully. And that combination, that's what created the incredible stability, the unified legal bedrock that the entire Golden Age was built on.
So let's recap. You've got a powerful capital city, a professional army, and a rock-solid legal system.
The Ottoman machine was basically primed, fueled up, and firing on all cylinders. And under Suleiman, that machine was unleashed. The empire entered its most aggressive and most successful period of expansion ever.
And the wins just kept stacking up, one after another. Bang, 1521, Belgrade falls. That's the gateway to Central Europe just blown wide open. Bang, the very next year, the fortress island of Rhodes is captured, giving them total command of the Eastern Mediterranean. And all through that decade, their powers spread like wildfire across the North African coast, locking down crucial sea lanes and trade routes.
But if you want to understand the sheer, overwhelming power of this Ottoman military machine, you just have to look at one battle. A single fight. A clash that decided the fate of an entire European kingdom in, get this, less time than it takes to watch a movie. So how'd they do it?
We're talking about the Battle of Mohacs, back in 1526. And just look at the numbers here. It's not even a fair fight. Suleiman's army was more than twice the size of the Hungarian force. But it wasn't just about numbers. The Ottoman army was a modern combined arms force. They had elite infantry, disciplined cavalry, and, this is the real kicker, a huge modern artillery train.
The battle itself was, frankly, a tactical masterclass, a total blitz. Step 1, the Ottoman cannons just opened up, unleashing this horrifying barrage that ripped the Hungarian lines to shreds. Step 2, while the Hungarians were still stunned and reeling, the elite janissaries and the cavalry swooped around the sides, completely encircling them. And step 3, well, it was total annihilation. The Hungarian army was wiped off the map, their king was dead, and the road into the heart of Europe was now completely wide open.
But look, a golden age isn't just about winning battles. All that power, all that stability and wealth that came from their government, their laws, and their army, it created the perfect conditions for something else. A massive, unprecedented explosion of culture, art, and science.
You could say the sword built the house, but it was the pen, the paintbrush, and the compass that turned it into a palace and gave the empire its true, lasting splendor. Just think about this number for a second. 400. Over 400 major buildings, we're talking mosques, palaces, bridges, were designed by a single person. One man, the master architect, Mimar Sinan. This guy was the genius who literally sculpted the face of the Ottoman Golden Age.
And Sinan's incredible work was just the tip of the iceberg. I mean, the arts were flourishing everywhere. Calligraphy, poetry, painting all reached their absolute peak. The madrasas, the schools, they became world-class centers for science, for medicine, for philosophy. And right at the heart of it all was Istanbul. Now, without a doubt, the crossroads of the entire world. A place where goods, ideas, and people from 3 different continents all came together.
So let's circle back to our original question. What was the formula? When you put all these pieces of the puzzle together, the picture becomes really clear. The Ottoman superpower wasn't built on just one thing. It was built on 4 powerful interlocking pillars. And here they are, the anatomy of a superpower.
Pillar 1, a professional, technologically advanced army that could both conquer new lands and defend the ones they had. Pillar 2, a centralized state run by an efficient bureaucracy and that genius dual law system. Pillar 3, a booming economy fueled by total control over global trade. And Pillar 4, a vibrant, flourishing culture, which was the ultimate proof of the empire's power and its confidence. The key thing to remember is that none of these worked in isolation. They all supported each other in perfect synergy.
And, well, that's it. That's the story of how the Ottoman Empire built its golden age. It was this incredible machine of power and sophistication, a true global superpower at the absolute peak of its glory. Which, of course, leaves us with one last nagging question. When you build an empire that seems so perfectly designed, so powerful, so dominant, what in the world could possibly stand in its way?